Hello, I think we are live. So, this is a live stream to reconnect again. And if you're watching on a replay, I hope you enjoy the replay. I am just talking about some things I want to share and I want to have an exchange. I want to see what you're thinking about a few things as well. It's been a minute. I know this channel was my backup channel. I've been locked out of my main YouTube channel. If I get back in that channel, I'll be really happy and I'll let you know. In the meantime, this is the main channel, okay? So we'll continue to, meet here. I hope the chatmosphere will find each other again. I want to do more live streams. I've been saying that. I know I've been juggling a few things. I know you have as well. So bear with me, okay, as you have been doing. Welcome. Let's see who's here. Well, hello, beautiful sunrise and sunsets. It's been a long time. I'm glad you joined. Welcome. So glad to see you here. Welcome, welcome. And we have our beautiful Harlem Sentinel, Karen Scott, of the famous Scots, the noble Scots, right? So welcome, she is saying to everyone, and greetings to all. It's been a minute. Thank you, our beautiful Harlem Sentinel. And who else is here this evening? We have Kalio Low 9FL. Hello, peace and bliss. I love it. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. It's been a long time, too long. Molly Moose. Yay, Molly. Molly Moose is making her exit currently at 19 years old. Oh, Molly, I'm so sorry to hear that. Molly is making her exit at 19 years old. We have to keep Molly in our prayers. It has been very hard to lose our furry family members. I know, Molly, I've been through that heartache, but guess what? One day we will be reunited with them, okay? They go to, we call it the Rainbow Bridge, right? I want to bring some comfort to you, just to know that this will be a temporary separation, okay? Just temporary. Because I believe that my Lord and Savior, my Creator, the Almighty, Most High Yah, He created our pets for a reason. He loves them more than we do. Imagine that. And I believe that they are going to reunite with us one day soon. Okay. So just keep that with you. And I pray that you will have comfort. We will pray for our dear sister. Hello, Being Nessing. Welcome. This is so good to see you all. I'll get to see whoever joins. Welcome and share. Please share. We want to get this going again. Okay. As they say, we'll have the band get back together. Okay, so I want to talk about a few things this evening, okay? And I know that it's a reason, a divine appointment as to why we are together on this live stream, okay? I hope it blesses you, and I pray it blesses you. So let's just I'm going to get myself together. I'm just going to play my intro for this particular channel. It helps to ground me, and let's just look at the images and get started, okay, for this live stream. This will be the official start, okay? All right. The Cultural Reckoning, Seeking Balance, Reclaiming Culture. Okay, so this evening is going to be a little mix of things, but it's what we're used to, okay? I put together a nice plate of food for you, as our beautiful Harlem Sentinel likes to say. I put a little plate of food together for you, okay? Some things to feast our eyes on and come together and reason, because that's what I love so much about our community is we come together and we reason and we help each other, because you all have blessed me so much. I can't put words to how much you have blessed me to understand a lot about this world and where we are in this world system. So let's start with, you know me and the slides, okay? So we are going to look at some things here, and I want to let's see. Okay, I'll get it. Okay, it's been a minute. You know, it's been a minute, right? All right, so I have entitled this evening's live stream, Yes, King. And as you can recall, we had some recent protests. Yes, I have the spoon. I'll be using it to help me. You know, me and the hands. I'm from Philadelphia, and we just do so much with our hands. So this helps me a little bit. So it'll help me. But anyway, we had protests. We had people very upset about having a king, and the No Kings March or protest or whatever. And I thought about the name of this protest and the fact that people are openly rebelling against a king. Now, I know that it was an earthly king, President Donald J. Trump, as they call him on TikTok, on the black TikTok, they call him Donald Jaquavius Trump. Okay, so Donald Jaquavius Trump, these people were crashing out with their Trump derangement syndrome, right? TDS, they call it. So they're crashing out, talking about they don't want a king. And it's interesting because culture doesn't change. It just has repeating cycles, history. And this protest of a king, I get it. We don't have kings here in America. No, we don't want kings in our government as it is set up. But in terms of a king, I wonder, would these people protest the king of kings? Because we do have earthly kings that, anybody can call themselves a king, a queen, and all of that. But in terms of a real true title that is undisputed, the King of all kings, the Most High Yah, his son Jesus Christ, that is a kingship that is eternal. That is, that's it, the highest of all offices. This is the creator of the universe. So in terms of the creator of everything, would these people reject him as a king? I'm wondering, because I want his kingship. I want the kingdom to come, right? That prayer is hitting so different right now. I don't know about you, if you've said the Lord's Prayer recently or thought about the kingdom. And I want to say that whoever sent me this book right here, Kingdom 101, whoever sent me this book, I want to thank you. The author is Lanzine L. Lee. And I've been reading this. Someone sent me this book back in 2020. When we would get together online back then. And this book has sat on the shelf. I cracked it open. You know, when you're not ready to read a book yet, you've probably had that. Especially if someone gifts you a book, it comes out of nowhere. I'll tell you this, it took me until now, because this is the divine appointed time for me to read this book right here, Kingdom 101. It's an awesome title, and this author, Lanzine L. Lee, right here, if anybody knows her, tell her that I am being blessed beyond words by her book. I'll let her know as well. I'll contact her some way and let her know. I'm still reading. You see, I'm not finished, and I'm writing also. So I'm writing. I'm reading. I'm trying to do a few things balanced. But this kingdom lesson, this basic kingdom introduction for me, is so eye-opening. And I've heard the kingdom, I've paid lip service to a king, and I never connected to it like I am now. It's on a different level. So I'll share more. If you want to get this book, I'm sure you can find it online, Kingdom 101. And I'm going to be sharing more about this. I have a feeling that we'll be talking about this a little bit more. But I want to share some slides with you, some images, and talk about some of these things that I've been thinking about lately, and some notes that I've been taking. Bear with me. I have some notes on my phone that I want to share, and I want to see what you all are saying. Let's just hang out, get yourself something nice to sip. This is going to be hopefully a nice get together for us, the Chatmosphere. I want to welcome you all. I'll welcome you individually. I'll see where you are in the chat, but I just want to say thank you for joining. And again, I hope you enjoy the replay. Okay, so Yes King is what I named this particular, this upload, this live stream, because I'm not in that no king thing. I want a king. I have a king. All right. And I am excited about my king, his kingdom, and his soon arrival. I'll say soon. And I know I want to talk more about that, because I know that language, especially timing language, has gotten a lot of us tripped up, and a lot of people are finding themselves at a point of disillusionment, and we don't want that for people. We want to make sure that we are staying in reality, of course, anchored in reality, the reality of God's word. Tina, the truth seekers here. Blessings, sis. How you doing? The chatmosphere is coming back together. Welcome, Tina. You know, we just need our good brother from Ireland to pop in, but we know, what time is it over in Ireland? Welcome to you all. If you're joining in from across the pond, we love you, of course. We love our international family, even though we have our little immigration issues going on right now. We love the world, okay, here in America. We love you. We want everyone to prosper in their own nations. Yes, we do. All right. So let's look at some images, like I said, and I want to get your feedback on a few things. Okay. So yes, King. Yes. We want you, King. Okay. So I want to just say that Hollywood, being the purveyor of images and what we have consumed for all of our lives, and they have given us the theater of our mind in terms of how timelines look, how so-called ancient people look, and when time begins, history begins at whatever point in time the engineers of the world system decide. So we've been on to them that they have tampered with our time. Now, they've tampered with so many things, but one of the things in terms of our minds, the theater inside of our minds, Hollywood and American culture are addicted to darkness. And this is because they can't imitate light. And they can't imitate light spiritually, artistically, and they can't imitate light technologically. So I thought about how darkness is given so much attention, and it's a seductive thing in terms of how darkness lures the person in. I've been lured in by darkness. It is very subtle, and how it happens is unique to each of us because everybody has a plan, and the enemy and the strategies of the enemy are going to be different for you and for me. So the way that I'm going to be seduced into darkness is going to be different for another person. So we get assigned certain dark entities that pretty much attach to our family lines, or, when we're born. And a lot of us have come to terms with these things, and we are reckoning some of the things, curses in our bloodline. You've probably heard a lot of talk about that, a lot of curse breakers that are coming through family lines, and they are calling out the sins of the fathers and the mothers, okay? They are speaking out and declaring without fear of being ostracized, the black sheep, the crazy one, the oddball in the family. That's how a lot of us have come together. We found each other because a lot of us are the oddballs. We have been on the outside of the culture, in a sense, the in crowd. And then some of us have had weird relationships with the in crowd, where we're not part of the in crowd, but we're in the in crowd enough to observe them and engage and interact with them just enough, and to know their ways so that we can be a direct reporter. We've been there. We've seen it. We've got the t-shirt and the mug. We don't have to make things up. So when we speak these things, some of us, we're speaking from personal observations. So a lot of us have been speaking against the agreements that our ancestors have made with the dark entities, with the kingdom of darkness. For whatever reason, they didn't understand. They wanted the riches of the world. They wanted power, fame, whatever it was. It's different for everybody. But somewhere along the line, in some of our families, our ancestors have made agreements that we are paying for. They didn't realize maybe that it would come to visit family that has yet to be born, right? That we would inherit curses. So some of us have had to break curses by being vocal, because your voice, speaking out and declaring, has a lot of power. praying and being led by God's Holy Spirit as you speak, as the Spirit uttereth through you. So again, Hollywood and American culture are addicted to darkness because they can't imagine light. Just think about that. We can't imagine light, yet alone Hollywood. We cannot imagine light. Not spiritually can Hollywood and this culture do it. Not artistically, not technologically can light be imagined. Just how vast light is. So we've been shortchanged all of our lives because we've been oversaturated in darkness. From the time we're born, we're lied to about Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. It goes on and on, the lies. Just lie after lie after lie, and excuse for the lies. Well, we're just doing it because it's fun for the kids. Oh, we're just doing. No, it's a lie at the end of the day. And when you allow lies to just be normalized, then it's no stopping. It's no boundary. Like, it's a slippery slope. So we have lies that are normalized, it's cute, fun, and then more lies, and just a corrupt culture that now a lot of us are just thinking, how in the world do we get out of this? How? What is the answer? So, hey, oh my goodness, I see some other people have joined. Juan is here. Juan, welcome. Oh my goodness, yes. Juan's here. Okay, so where is Sean? And where is Joseph? And who else? We have we're all we're seeing more and more familiar faces. Have I missed anybody? If I've missed you, please forgive me. I see names. I'm seeing a few, but we're gonna get together a little bit more. So I want you to look out. Make sure in terms of the channel that you are still, if you're still subscribed, please. And if you're watching this and you want to subscribe, I hope that you enjoy it here. We're nice in the chat, okay? If you want to come in and just talk amongst us, you are welcome. We welcome all the new people. So also, in terms of making comments, I love to read your comments, and even after the live stream, please share anything that comes up. If you want to correct me, I am so open to that, and I welcome that as well. So, okay, so let me go on to some more things I wanted to talk about. So, growing up in this culture here in America, I'll speak to America. I know that we have people that join in from other nations, but here in America, everybody around the world knows about American culture because unfortunately we have exported our dark American culture to the world. And I take particular, I don't know, I have felt the weight of responsibility for that, and I have felt bad about what we have exported to the world and how we have influenced the world. We were not supposed to do what we've done. We were supposed to influence the world in a good way. But for some reason, we have this attraction to the dark kingdom. It's hardly a kingdom in the truest sense of power, but nonetheless, it has a brand. I'll say, yeah, it's a brand. It's a very successful brand because the dark kingdom depends on a lot of illusion, a lot of just fakery, mimicking, it's based on lies and deceit. So, with anything like that, it's not going to be a stable foundation, and it can't stand, the test of time. So that's why you see the kingdoms and empires of the world, they fall, they rise, they fall, because it takes 200 years, they say, for most empires to implode. Because most governments, when we think about it, most governments that have tried to govern people, they have failed miserably. They have failed. They keep trying forms of government, and it just fails. So what do? Do we keep failing? And I'll talk about that a little bit later. I want to bring that back up. But I want to talk about how I grew up in this American culture, being seduced by the darkness. And it started very early, and it was looked at as, again, innocent, just like we lie to little children and tell them about an imaginary man in the North Pole that comes down the chimney and gives you gifts. Just like we tell that first lie to children, we tell many lies. It's that's just what happens, right? You tell kids a lie. So the lies that are told through storytelling, right? We have children's programming. They tell you right in the name, we're programming your children. So that's the key right there, is it happens in childhood. And that's where we have to focus our efforts as well, because the dark kingdom focuses their efforts on children. It has to start at childhood, because once you're old, you're already set in your ways. So I grew up with a lot of witchy poo culture, and looking at witches as cute, right? This is cute. Witchcraft. Can you imagine? It's sold to children as cute. I grew up watching Bewitched. They didn't hide what it was. It was in the title, right? But yeah, my Baptist grandmother and mom didn't see any problem with it. It flew under the radar, in other words. So I'm watching Bewitched, and she's cute. She's, her nose, she's twitching her nose and doing magic, and she's making her husband one of the Darrens, right? Oh my goodness. You had one Darren that switched out for another Darren. I didn't understand it. I'm a kid watching this show. I just knew one guy, wait a minute, he looks different. Nobody explained it to me. But the Darren was her husband. And it's like anything, he's always the dumb guy, right? So men in this culture are disrespected, and they are marginalized. And this whole culture, in terms of when I came into the world and what's been happening with culture, is that women and this Jezebel, feminist, modern women, witchy poo culture, it is, what is it? They say misogynist, but they're missing. What is it when you hate men? Misanthropist. So we have a sector of our culture that hates men with a passion. And it's expressed in our culture, our arts and entertainment. So the men are all stupid. So on Bewitched, she and her mother are running circles around Darren. He's so stupid, right? They're just doing so many things and he's just oblivious. And that is programmed. So what do you think that did to my generation watching Bewitched? You know, it does something. It has an effect. And then we have Witchy Poo on the HR Huff and Puff. My generation is pretty like screwed, like with the kind of entertainment. When I think about it, some of it was pretty good, but some of it was really whacked out. Thank you very much across the pond, because I was watching all that British children's stuff, Witchy Poo and the beetle bugs or whatever they were, and you know, what is it? Huff and Puff, right? HR Huff and Puff stuff. Hello, Chop. I see another person joining. Chopsticks. Hello, welcome. It started way back. Yes, it did. Way back. They were slowly dripping this culture, what is it? Counterculture war. And by the time we woke up to it, we had lost a lot of ground. But it's, you know, it's not impossible. But I just wanted to share that the witchcraft culture, it in my generation, Gen X, we had like I said, the Bewitched, and we had other witchy stuff. But also I saw where they were bringing it in online for the millennial or the older Gen X, where they had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I guess, and other witchcraft shows. So witchcraft is sexy in our culture, right? That dark, alluring. Look at Angelina Jolie playing Maleficent, and we are programmed and conditioned to have sympathy for the witch, for the villain. And that has done a lot of things to warp our perception. And of course, the queen witch of them all, allegedly, is Beyonce. And Beyonce has put a spell on the culture that is so pervasive. But it is breaking. Her spell is breaking. So that's what's happening with all of the witchcraft. All of the spells are coming due, past their expiration dates, and if they didn't accomplish what they were supposed to accomplish, they're coming back to the sender, and the sender is going to reap all of that they have been practicing and sending out to others. They are going to reap all of that darkness. And it's a sad thing, because witchcraft is cute and it's fun and it's sexy until it's not. Okay? Because there's a high cost for it. And also in this culture, we have this sick affection for the anti-hero. That's what Hollywood and this culture has done to the mindset of us, the people. We like the anti-hero. Just that alone, the word anti-hero. Why would we side and sympathize with the anti-hero? But that's what's happened. And once this gets normalized in culture, it begins to seep in, and it really makes the mind sick. And it's no wonder why we have mental health crisis. A mental health crisis. because it's not just mental health in the sense of, oh, you have a chemical imbalance, I'm going to throw a pill at you. Most mental health illnesses are demonic possessions. And yes, I said it as a 30 plus nurse who's worked in behavioral health, psychiatric nursing in Los Angeles and Philadelphia. I have seen demonic possession. And that's what I believe a lot of mental illness is, demonic. And we play around with that so much. We want to make somebody look crazy to say it. But Jesus Christ, his main ministry was to set the captives free. He was here healing people. And I have literally witnessed it. Okay? Over in Africa. Yes. And when those people line up to the clinics at the wee hours when it's still dark, and you are working to help the people in these communities, and you have a whole area for praise and worship and prayer, and these people are being delivered from demons, demonic possession. And once those demons leave them, they are healed and set free, delivered. So we play around here in America, but in other nations, they know that these demons are real. And they know that it's not sickness in the sense of we have to medicate it. No, we can't play with demons. That has to be banished. And we have authority to do it. Demons are scared of us. If we only knew how we look in the spirit world. Demons are scared. They're scared of the name of Jesus Christ. You bring me the name of your God, and you tell me that your God can scare a demon. Because my God's very name, and I don't care about how you say it in another language, they understand Jesus Christ. They understand. They can translate that, okay? So don't bring me all that about names and we get all mixed up in debates about the name. All you have to do is say Jesus Christ. I've done it. I've had demons back down in fear. Pretty gangster. Yeah. I could tell you some stories. I've been a nurse for over 30 years. You don't think I've been face to face with a demon? Oh, I've been face to face with so many of them. But they don't like that name, Jesus Christ. Try it if you think I'm kidding. I know what I'm talking about. I didn't read it somewhere. I lived it. Scared the crap out of some demon possessed, what, a Crip, a Blood, a cartel person coming up against a child of the Most High Yah? Huh. Oh, you got teardrops on your face because you killed some people? Really? You could kill the body, but you can't kill the soul. And any blood you spill will cry out for justice. So you might want to rethink things. But you have to have that kind of authority and confidence. Because a demon also knows when you are a coward and you're scared. They don't respect that. They're not afraid of a scaredy cat. But yeah, this whole anti-hero thing, it has caused a mental illness, a spiritual illness within our culture that is so, it's debilitating. We've gotten to a point now where it is no basement. There's no lower place. I know they say don't try to dare that it can't get any lower. No. It's not going to get any lower. We cannot let it get any lower. Excuse me. We cannot let it get any lower and sit by as bystanders, just watching culture go down the tubes and staying silent. That's why we have anti-heroes. Because we haven't spoken up. Oh, this Harley Quinn is sexy. That's sexy to men. They like crazy, whacked out women. Oh, it's dangerous. And she will ruin your entire bloodline. But she's fun in bed. It's a party in bed. But she's going to ruin your entire future bloodline just by you enter what is it that Jada Smith said? What does she say? Entangling with this Jezebel, this witch. So what? We're going to keep doing this? The Joker is sympathetic in our culture? And Dexter? We gotta do some resetting majorly. But also with Hollywood, we see that they have continued to serve us imagery of apocalypse, nuclear holocaust, you name it. We're supposed to be expecting that. Well, I want to challenge you to stop expecting it. How about that? What a concept. We're not expecting a nuclear holocaust anymore, everyone. Okay, we're laughing at it because we don't believe, I'll just speak for me, sorry. I don't believe that they have a nuclear bomb. I don't believe it anymore because I'm so fatigued from believing it. I don't believe it. I don't care. The nuclear bomb, if they were going to do it, I believe they would have done it already. I really do. But beside that, I don't read in my Bible anything anywhere that they are going to succeed. And I do say they because we know who they are. They're not going to succeed with some kind of nuclear holocaust. Where do you find that in the Bible? Because that's the problem with what we're doing with the Bible and what we have allowed the church culture in America to do with the Bible. They have thrown us off of the timeline. So we don't even know where we are. And so, yes, Molly, we are war fatigued. We've had it up to here, or I'll just speak for me. I've had it up to here with war. Thank you, George Bush and Dick Cheney and all of those bastards having us believe that, oh, Osama bin Laden put some shit in the baby bottles, right? All those lies. So if it's not war, it's trauma. You got Monique up there. She has beef with Oprah and Tyler Perry forever, right? I hope she wins the beef. But all we hear about is how they've done her wrong. But yet she agreed to be in one of the most vile movies that you could ever be in. So vile. I would never watch trash like that. Yes, Molly. I would never watch that movie that Monique was in. Filth. Lee Daniel, he's from Philadelphia. Filth. About a mother who rapes her child. Disgusting. And she won? Didn't she win an award? That's what Hollywood rewards our actors with. Awards for the most degenerate mess. Monique, are you really, you're proud of that freaking mess you were in? I wouldn't want that in my head at all. I did not watch it. Disgusting. As well as Halle Berry, when she had real sex, I believe, in that movie with Billy Bob Thornton. Disgusting. Yuck. And they rewarded her. You see how they, and Denzel, he had to be a drug lord, spreading death to get an award from Hollywood. That's what they reward. Look at the roles. I mean, they always have to do the devil stuff and the pentagrams and scaring you, dark, death, blood. Aren't you tired? Because I'm literally tired of it. It's corny. It has reached the point that it's corny now. And we're tired. They can't even produce anything new when it comes to horror. The best horror was in my generation. The Omen, The Exorcist. They can't produce anything like that anymore. For one, the reason why those movies were really spot on and scary as all get out is because they went straight to the Bible and they took the words from the scripture and just used it as fear porn. But it was because it was based on something real that those movies really hit. But this corny mess that they come up with now, it's just gratuitous, nasty, bloody, and it's just created so it could further destroy the minds of the people. Their low vibration. And this is the only thing Hollywood and these people can imagine. They give us the corny sight. What is it? The special effects. They used to be creative, Star Wars and all of these things. This is when they had a little more time. They're completely out of time now. It's evidence everywhere. They cannot do another blockbuster. They can't do another Silence of the Lamb, which was based on something real. Because they continue to feed the minds of these very fragile people. And you start to get a programmed person that'll do something sick. But most of the satanic stuff that we've heard about, unfortunately, a lot of it is tied to military black operations. You have the guy that started the Temple of Set, and the Presidio, and the McMartin daycare, satanic ritual abuse. Those reports, of course, they sound crazy to the average normie, but those things go hand in hand. The occult and these dark operations and everything that is corrupt about the world system. Oh, yeah, there you are, Rosemary's Baby. That was another one, Tina, exactly. That will scare the boop boops off of you. Rosemary's Baby. Those are real scary movies. Hey, the guru. The guru is here. Peace and love to all. Thank you for joining the guru. Oh, wow, Beth is here. Hey, Beth. So nice to have you here. Welcome, sis. She says, hi, all. Came in here late. That's okay, Beth. So cool. I got to see. Yay. I'm here. I'm sorry it's taken me a while. I'm juggling a lot of things, Beth, but I'm going to do more of this. Sparkling Gems, welcome. Hello. So nice to see you. If I've missed saying hello to you, please forgive me. I'll catch up. I'm so glad we're finding each other. Glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the thing. The dark world sells itself as the only supernatural game in town. And it's because the kingdom of light is actually too powerful to market. You couldn't market a movie that was about God's powerful kingdom, his victorious kingdom. Do you think anybody could really capture that in terms of entertainment? I'm just saying, who could do it really well? Miss Jilly. I miss story time. Hey, Miss Jilly. Is that Miss Jilly from Philly? Oh my goodness. Tell me, Miss Jilly. Welcome, welcome. Yes, we got to get together more, okay? You're giving me encouragement to keep doing this, okay? I just have to find time. I have to order my time better. That's what it is, okay? So yeah, darkness is just seen as more interesting, and light is looked at as corny, and God is some kind of extra background extra in all of our dramas, we think. So it's just something. So a culture that is obsessed with darkness becomes numb. And you've probably experienced some numbness to this culture, but you just feel numb when you hear nothing but dark. It's like the kingdom of darkness looks like they're winning all the time, and it's very demoralizing. So what happens when a culture is obsessed with darkness? It becomes numb and cynical and spiritually fatigued and unable to imagine beauty, because we've been inundated with darkness and ugliness and scariness and horror, blood, and just negative, low vibration stuff. So you can't even imagine beauty at that frequency. You're unable to imagine healing. In our culture, they don't even allow people to talk about cures. You can't even say cure. The word itself is illegal to use in the health industry. Isn't that bizarre? You can't even say cure. In big pharma, I've worked big pharma. Cure? We got in trouble. We had a cure for something. We were going around to the doctors. We were so excited. We were literally giving them a cocktail combination that could cure something. And the FDA came down on us. We had to stop promoting the cure. I'm not kidding. I will go on a stand and testify to it. They stopped us from promoting a cure to an illness. The doctors, the specialists, the gastroenterologists, they felt like we were cutting in on their business. And they reported us to the FDA. We had to stop promoting a cure. That's the kind of culture we live in. So to imagine healing, we got this upside down way of looking at illness, where they will program people to accept and consent to taking a medicine for the rest of your life. They'll use that term, for the rest of your life, you'll be on this medicine. And people consent to that. Okay. No, you should never consent, even if it's a vitamin. I would not consent to anything being for the rest of my life. It shouldn't be like that. It's something tricky in that. So to be on a medicine for the rest of your life and you're okay with it, it's because we've been trained to normalize illness as something that you just have to live with. And you just manage the symptoms. But cure it? Are you crazy? What kind of conspiracy theorist are you? Quack. And also, we're in a culture that is obsessed with darkness, also is unable to imagine kingdom governance. Now, we just saw an example of that recently. Don't think that God is not teaching us in this very moment in time, with our government shutting down and people crashing out over that. The very fact that you can live and breathe and wake up every day without the government working should have been like the best feeling to say, maybe I don't need the government. What a concept. Maybe the government is just an optional, authority that we have for just emergencies, just to keep the country from being invaded. Imagine that. But we can manage ourselves. Thank you very much, Uncle Sam. We got it over here in our state. Okay? And we got to see how people look to government as their nanny, their mommy, their daddy, their God. We got to see it in real time. Do you think the Most High Yah is happy with that? That people literally crashed out, that they wouldn't eat food unless the government handed it to them? They couldn't make a way. They couldn't say a prayer to the very one that created everything. They couldn't go to their church. They couldn't go to a family member, anybody, friend, anything, sorority, whatever, for real. So we are getting to see the very illness that is our culture right now. How far away we are from God. That right there showed everything we need to know. We are not interested in kingdom governance. Right before that, we had the people, no kings, no kings, no kings. And a culture obsessed with darkness becomes unable to grow up. And this is what the very crux of this point in time where we are right now is, that we have to grow up. We have to grow up as disciples of the Most High Yah, of followers and believers in Jesus Christ. We have to grow up. And a lot of people, let me tell you, it is very scary to grow up spiritually and not have this, perception of being Uber flighted out of here in a Rapture Uber. I know. I wanted to be Uber raptured out of here. At one time, I really believed it, that I was taking me a quick Uber out of here. But that is from not growing up spiritually, not maturing spiritually. And this is why fear-based futurism thrives. Why is it that the future has to be scary and uncertain? Oh my God, the Antichrist is cutting everybody's head off. Oh my goodness, Sharia law is coming to America because Mom Dummy has made, he's won the mayor race of New York City. And it's just one disaster doom scroll after another. That I see it now. It's going to be Islam. Yup, and the sword. They're going to cut all the heads off. That's it. Yup. Obama's going to become president again, and he's going to lead the way because they bought remember they bought the head choppers. Remember the head choppers that we heard about? That Obama had bought a whole bunch of head choppers. Remember that? And remember the coffins that FEMA bought? They were all stacked up by the highway, I think by the Atlanta airport, bunch of black coffins, remember? Oh, fun times, wasn't it? When we thought Obama was going to behead everybody. Oh boy, fun times. And so the past is filled with, for my people, slavery. We were slaves. We were in chains, beaten. Kunta Kinte and Kizzy were our names. Meanwhile, my name is Jennifer. Jennifer. I have names in my family like Eleanor, Valerie, Cynthia, Jennifer, Bernice. Where is the Kunta Kinte of it all? Where is the Kizzy? It's laughable at this point. It's hilarious. My name is Jennifer Washington. The jokes just write themselves. I'm sorry. I'm at a point now in my healing journey, if I could use that therapy talk language that Oprah Winfrey put us on to. Thank you, Oprah. Another thing you've done. She has a stack of things, infringements. But yes, on my healing journey, I'm at the point of laughter. I'm laughing at my trauma. It's funny. It's actually funny. No, I'm not kidding. I know this sounds like, woo, she's jumped the shark. It is actually funny, some of it. Maybe it's my sense of humor. Maybe it is. I'll take that. I have a different sense of humor. It served me okay, pretty well, Juan. Okay, so let's keep it moving. I hope you're still hanging out. I'm not watching the time. Are you? Are you? Okay, so Hollywood can film demons, but it can't imagine angels. Have you ever seen an angel in your mind? When you read the book of Enoch and it talks about angels, the different descriptions, I mean, some of them are like, they talk about heads of a lion and this and the other. Have you ever stopped to think about, like, how does that really look? Hollywood, please, they wish they could film something so incredible. But just think about that. They can film all this demonic stuff. It looks so stupid when you really look at it now. Anytime they want to scare us with the demons, it's like, we saw it already. It's corny now. What are you going to do next? They don't have anything. They're out of ideas. It's run its course. So darkness is easy to dramatize also. Light requires maturity. imagination, and a healed storytelling. So a lot of us, we have to come out of the victim position, because that's part of maturing and growing up in terms of a believer, a disciple of Jesus Christ. If you really want to start to move in that type of energy, the victim narrative has to drop. And telling a story from a healed vantage point is going to be what we're going to see more of moving forward. And you know, again, this is what Hollywood tells us we have as a future. And I'm just here to tell Hollywood, no, I reject this future right here that I've been told so much that was my future, is to see the cities looking like desolation and the so-called planet globe. Look at it. Look at that CGI craziness. This is all they can do. Yeah, they've done some of this stuff in the past during their World Wars 1 and 2 and whatever. But a lot of these wars, they're not what we think. It's just a gang of corporate thugs that get together as a confederacy, and they steal resources and land and people. They're a gang of thugs. They do paper genocide and identity theft. They're scammers on an international, global level. And yeah, they may have dropped bombs on neighborhoods, like I talked about the other day in Philadelphia when they dropped the bomb on the Move people in West Philly. They had a black mayor drop a bomb on a black neighborhood in the 80s. And sure, the neighborhood looked just like one of these pictures, Osage Avenue. But what was that really all about? I am of the belief that they've been doing this in small skirmishes all over, whenever they want something. And then they have a cover story, and then you move on and get distracted, and you forget about that, and they get away with it, we think. They think. But again, to think that this is your future and to be programmed to expect this, it's no wonder that we don't know where we are in our relationship to time, to the Most High Yah, our Creator, our Father, our King. We don't have any direct context for anything, because we have an expectation of a nuclear holocaust, of a apocalypse, of a revelation. Revelation means revealing something. Apocalypse means opening up. But we have had these people exchange these terms to give us these kind of mental pictures of a future. What kind of sick mess is that? To expect this. So if you're expecting this in the future, how are you living in your now? And of course, you see your past as I was a slave and this and whatever narrative. I was a poor immigrant, starving, and the potatoes and the this, whatever your Genesis story is that you've agreed to. So if your past is some kind of poor slave origin story, and then your future is this crap, then what is your present, your now? And what good are you to God if you're thinking this is your future and that was your past? What good is it to even serve God if that's the kind of God you think he is? It's like you're screwed on both ends. You were a slave and you're going to be a burnt up black piece of nuclear waste in your future. Or a head cut off by the Sharia law people. Boy, sign me up, everybody. Sounds like a great life. No wonder everybody's on medicine. No wonder. I have rapture fatigue. I'm done with it. And I really bought this crap, this rapture stuff. Look at what it's done. It has demoralized so many believers. This crap started in the 1800s. And yes, I said crap. I don't care what it does to offend somebody. Because I was deceived by this mess for so long. I'm not going to mince my words. This crap right here, making you think that you're going to take a Uber out of here and leave. Oh, look. Oh, the planes are going to be crashing. Oh, what a nice image that you're going to get raptured out of here and your pilot. Oh, you better hope your pilot isn't a Christian. You can hardly find a Christian around here in this culture. What are you talking about? So the plane's going to go down. Look at all the destruction on the roads. That looks like Atlanta, right around Grady Hospital, right? Oh boy, Grady's going to have a busy day, huh? The trauma bays are going to be busy, right? My goodness. Planes are going into buildings. Everybody crashes because you have a bunch of Christian truck drivers. You better not have Christian truck drivers and pilots, everybody. What a cuckoo thing that we've been under. Think about that. I am ashamed that I bought this stuff. And look at Jesus in the clouds. He's not even black. Are you kidding? You didn't even give me a black Jesus up there. Ah! Okay, so anyway. All right. And then, yeah, I'm telling you, this has done more to grow a complacent church, childish believers. Yeah, they didn't even make Jesus black in this rapture picture. I know it's not true now. Would it Beth say? Oh yes, Grady was a high school. Yes, Grady, which you went to Grady. See, me and Beth, we got to meet up and have coffee because we probably know somebody in common. Beth, okay. I told you my dad lived over in Virginia Highlands back in the 70s. And I had a good little friend that I played with when I would come to Atlanta. And she she was going to Grady High School, I remember. So yeah, Grady High School. It's right there near, isn't it a Philly cheesesteak place? And well, we know Piedmont Park is close by, but yes, Beth and I, we pretty much have a lot in common with the cultural references and stuff. Grady used to, Miss Jilly says, Grady used to have a nursing school. They sure did. My mom went to the one for black students. Really? And you know what? My Aunt Waleen used to work at the nursing school. She was like, worked at, I guess, the dorm. She would check the girls in and out of the dorm. My Aunt Waleen. And guess what, you guys? My Aunt Waleen worked at Grady all these years and she never cashed her check. My dad got this phone call or letter one day about Waleen, and they were wondering why did she never cash her payroll checks. because she didn't need them. She was living off of trust funds. I don't know. But she was working basically as a volunteer at Grady. Crazy, crazy. Oh, yeah. I could write a book, right? Actually, I am writing a book. I'll keep you posted. A lot of these stories are going to be in that book. Okay. All right. So, where was I? Rapture fatigue. Yes, 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 yes. I am over it, everybody. You can't make me go back. Okay. So, when it comes to the whole aspect of where we are in time, I want to thank all of you mud flood scholars. I want to thank you Tartarian scholars. And I want to thank, yes, there it is. I'm sorry. Woody's cheese. I'm sorry, that's funny. It is called Woody. I can see it in my mind. It's like painted, lots of cool like colors. Woody's cheesesteaks. You worked there for a short while? One of the only girls who was all gay. It was all gay guys. Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah. But I never had a cheesesteak from there, have I? I'm trying to think about it. You would think that I would have, because I always like to try the Philly cheesesteaks to see if they are authentic, okay? All right. Wait, you say yes, the Waleens were almost like etiquette teachers at the school. Yes, she would have been like an etiquette teacher, Waleen. My Aunt Waleen was very interesting, to say the least. So, okay, when it comes to us understanding where we are in time, and the fact that the timeline has been, of course, manipulated, we all agree to that in this chat. And the 1800s being, I always call the 1800s a person of interest. If I were to say a person of interest in an investigation, the 1800s is where I would go first. If I were to get into a time machine, I would go to the 1800s and do all of my research, my field research. So the 1800s is when something happened, a great reset, maybe the flood of Noah. Maybe a lot of these biblical events happened a lot closer than we have been led to think. Something big happened, and the old world became a thing of the past. And we had this collective amnesia and went into this new world system where you had the Rockefellers and all of those guys stealing all of the resources, the names, the identities, lands, titles, everything. Just stealing patents, everything you can imagine, and putting their name on it and just rebranding everything. We built it. Look, everybody, we built this, and this guy built this building in Memphis, and then he built the same building in Philly, and you know, all the Wikipedia narratives that we've all laughed at, they're freaking hilarious. And if you have somebody reading it, like, okay, what's the guy, My Lunch Break? He is one of the funniest guys to read the narratives. You know what I'm talking about. I love to hear him with his like dry humor. And then John Levy, I like him to just talk about the ridiculous narratives because he finds all the holes in the stories. It's like, this guy is 20 years old and he built the art museum in Philadelphia. Then he went over to St. Louis and he built another Greek building, and oh, he's just an architect, but he's 20 years old and he's building 15 freaking Greek, Roman, neoclassical. Are you freaking kidding me? And he's what? Getting the labor? He's just the architect. We act like he was the builder and he got the logistics for all the workers. And then we know the population was damn near nothing, and they want us to believe that we was builders, we was kangs, we was builders. Sorry, the jig is up. The jig is all the way up. Tina says the 1800s was definitely sus. Too much happened. They founded everything. The Freemasons, exactly. Exactly. Hello, Jason Thomas Han, founders. I love it. Welcome, Jason. Let's give Jason a welcome. Thank you. You're a new name. I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoy it here. And yes, so back to the 1800s. So we know that something janky happened in the 1800s. We love our mud flood scholars. They have helped us wake up. Tina was the one that grabbed my coattails. I wasn't ready for the mud floods. Remember, I told you I was like, I'm too many rabbit holes. I can't go down another one. No, I refuse. You guys dragged me. You and Joseph from Ireland dragged me into the mud flood rabbit hole. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't I pay attention to this back in 2020? I was overwhelmed. It was just too much going on. But once I looked into it, and the fact that I grew up in Philadelphia, I was like, are you kidding me? Of course I've known they've been lying to me, but I couldn't put my finger on it. But it all started to make sense. And so, I've talked about, I love aviation, so I love the aspect of the travel vehicles before whatever our timeline that we're paying attention to now. So prior to that, I'll say pre-colonial America, traveling by airships and free energy. I think we've all pretty much agreed that we had some amazing technology, and even down to, yeah, you love my lunch break. A lot of those guys, like my lunch break, they bring up the fact that a lot of these old buildings didn't have bathrooms. So it's like, oh, so the food was that good you didn't have to go to the bathroom? Are you kidding? I need good food like that. What, your body just totally absorbs it because it's just perfect food? I don't know. But they didn't seem to have bathrooms. So I don't know. It's like, what was going on? Some people have lots of amazing theories. But we just know that we've been lied to. That's pretty much what we know. And that's where it seems to lie right there, because I love listening to a lot of these accounts and theories, but it's, what do we do now? How do we move forward knowing what we know? Because I can collect a lot of knowledge, and we've heard about knowledge. We've heard King Solomon talk about knowledge. You could have every book in the world in your library and you still don't know all that there is to know. If anything, you're just going to know that there's so much you don't know. It's going to humble you. And Solomon was the wisest man, the richest man in the world. And he even knew that it's but so much you can do to accumulate knowledge. So what do we do at this point? When we know a lot, we live in the information age. We have tiny technology now, portable, that we can fact check. We can do a lot. We can make travel arrangements and order Ubers. You can order food and all kinds. You could make a movie. You could write a book. You can do all kinds of things. So we do have powerful technology, but it is very limited, because I think it's limited because of our culture and our morality. I don't believe that the Most High Yah will allow us to go beyond certain perimeters unless we elevate ourselves. So imagining technology, that's the thing. It's like, we know from the scriptures that God is a God of high science and intelligence. And when you read the book of Enoch and you read about portals that are opened in certain areas around the realm, I believe that, you can use your imagination, of course, and it would be great if somebody could create some kind of imagery that would be spot on. But I think that it would happen with you reading and allowing your mind and the Holy Spirit of God and just to lead you into understanding and even give you pictures if you want, as well as dreams, to dream about the technology of the Most High Yah. Because we haven't imagined the levels of technology that we could have at our fingertips. But again, I believe that we are limited right now because we have to grow up spiritually in order to handle the responsibility of God's technology, divine technology. So God being the God of sacred geometry and just amazing abilities to he stands outside of time, and he gives some of his children the ability to witness this stuff. I know you know that. There are many people that have witnessed the divine technology, that have entertained angels. So we have lots of angels among us. And you know, God's math is amazing. We know that the dark kingdom had their fallen ones, their generals and foot soldiers, but it was only 1/3 of them. They have very small numbers, 1/3. We have on our side 2/3 of the angels, and they are various. I mean, I can't even imagine the various types of angels and the rankings of the angels that are working for us, that are on our side. You have Gabriel. Okay, the way I think about Gabriel, I think of Gabriel kind of like General Flynn. So the information, what do you call it? Intelligence. So Gabriel, I see as the chief. Isn't he a chief angel? I don't know his type. Is he a seraphim or a cherubim? I'll look it up. Give me a minute. But anyway, Gabriel, the way I think of him is that he heads up the information, the media, the real good media of God, the true truth, and he makes sure that messages get dispatched, information and anything that's needed in terms of communication. So I kind of think of him in that way. Now, when we think of angels, so all the angels that would be under Gabriel, that would be working in information, communication, and that kind of stuff, how do they work with humans? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like that's the kind of stuff I want to start like thinking about more about, because again, Hollywood has had us distracted about the dark kingdom, but we don't ever imagine really in real time what the kingdom of light is doing. Let's see. Welcome. No Wonkin. No, I'm sorry if I don't say it. It's a long no. Welcome. Using reverse engineered alien tech, and I've heard people mention that reverse engineered alien tech. So when I see alien tech, I think angels, angelic technology, divine technology. And I know a lot of people are afraid to say angel tech. Some people look at that negatively. They think it's demonic. You have people that are afraid of AI. You have a lot of people on each side that feel that all of this stuff is demonic. But again, I have to challenge myself with the way that I view things, because I realize I've been programmed to see the dark kingdom as the victor, the power, the ones that are always winning. Like I said, is that perception. Even though I know that God has won already, I wasn't living like it. I wasn't talking like it. You see, I was still under this, it's a fake, everything is deceptive about fake light. The light bearer, Lucifer, he's fake. He has to, use a lot of gimmicks and things. So technology doesn't belong to the dark kingdom. I hope we all agree on that. Wait, Gabriel's a soldier. Juan is saying Gabriel is a soldier. Yes. Now, when I think of Gabriel, when I said information and intelligence, because I think about what happened when Gabriel had to get the message. Remember when Satan was holding the body of Moses, and then it was like a prayer had to be said in order to get the message through, because it was being buffeted, it was being prevented from getting through. So yeah, Gabriel, I guess like Gabriel does like kick butt stuff and getting messages through. That's why I just think of that area. It's so amazing. It's beyond my comprehension. But when I just try to think about it, okay, bear with me, everybody. You could probably help me to think about the vastness of the kingdom of light, and the technology, the AntiquiTech. I know a lot of us, we think about ancient technology being primitive and not as powerful, but I think the old world was way more advanced. I don't look at it as primitive. And a lot of the imagery that we've been able to at least have some imagination is because of the steampunk, right? The steampunk aesthetic. It's given us the ability to kind of think about the 1800s, the Victorian era, and then this amazing AntiquiTech, this advanced technology, the 1800s, the Victorians. Do you see? It's all very interesting. But I guess steampunk was the best place to express it. So the kingdom is not about escape. It's about participation, is what I'm starting to think. So in order to have the kingdom come, it doesn't require us to escape out of here and get raptured out of here, especially if we're not anticipating a nuclear holocaust, tribulation, and all of that horrible stuff for the future. And the kingdom coming is not a magic event, is what I'm thinking. It's the restoration of a world we once had, and the world we must now help to rebuild. And that's the thing. Are we willing to work at the restoration of this world in terms of whatever it would be, whatever we would be called to, our kingdom assignment? Are you willing to work? That's what all of us have to answer. Are we willing to do an assignment that is so out of our, like, we can't imagine what we're being called to, but we're being equipped also. Just know that you're not going to be called to do something that you're not equipped to do. And I know that futurism for many, and what it was like for me, I looked at this tweet today. It was interesting, where this person says futurism was a precursor to Italian fascism. Speed speed, energy, and modernity were values transmuted from the aesthetic world into the political one. So that's the thing about it. When you think about a futurism, how do you see the future? Do you see it like this, like what Elon Musk, how he envisions a future? He's trying to go to Mars. He's into rockets. He's into transhumanism, robots, and all this stuff. And I'm not into robots. I never vibed with robots. I'm not excited about robots or going to Mars and all these goofy things. Yes, it's goofy to me, okay? Because I don't believe in it anymore. And again, I'm sorry if it offends people. I think it's goofy to want to go to Mars. I just do. When you live on Earth, the most amazing place. But you know, people don't have a connection to the Creator. That's why they are off into these crazy philosophies and ideologies. They're not rooted in the Most High Yah's truth. And so I don't want to shake hands with a robot. I don't give a crap about robots. I'm into this right here, terra firma, and God's kingdom coming. And that's the vibe right now. I'm not interested. I'm not anticipating some antichrist and a red heifer being sacrificed at the third temple and the this and the and the Gog and Magog and the this and I am over it. I am off of that Kool-Aid. No, thank you. I've had enough. I've had enough. So if you guys want to go to Mars, have a good time. That'd be a great idea for some people. Head on to Mars. Go on. Be great. Hope I love it for you. So the thing about futurism being a precursor to Italian fascism, that was fascinating to me about fascism. That's a term that's thrown around a lot, right? But speed and energy, and that's the thing about our system, and energy is what is used against us. They harvest our energy, steal our energy, our resources. And if we can claim our sovereignty and our rights back and learn about the inalienable, meaning they cannot alienate us from our Father. We have to repatriate to our Father, and He will give us a sound mind again. Because this stuff right here that you're looking at, this is not a sound mind. Anybody who wants to, marry a robot or what? Huh? Are you okay? Like, huh? But again, some of us are going to be called to do some incredible things and to witness some things that we would have thought were miraculous. Maybe you might call it time travel, different things, technologies that you're not used to in our current world system. But some of us are going to experience things that are amazing. And I hope you get ready for your kingdom assignment. But it's only a few, like it's a remnant of people that are going to experience a lot of these things and will be called on for a kingdom assignment. So the technology again is something that I want to talk more about this. This is just like a little introduction. I know I've been talking for a long time. I could talk about this a lot, but I want to pace it so I could have more to talk about. It's so much to talk about, but I want to get together again. I want you to, watch out for any notices, but I want to, continue this conversation for sure. But when I think about even the med beds that we talked about back in 2020, I'm going to start reconnecting with information to share about that. I've been, reactivating with that. And what is the context of a med bed and healing in our timeline? Self-transforming geometries and interdimensional transport, rotating energy structures, living plasma engines, multi-access vehicles operating outside of linear time. These are all things that are they're possible. The kingdom of Yah is not primitive at all. And the technology is superior. The math is perfect. And it is intentionally concealed from those who don't seek. And the scripture about, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. So we are to search out these matters. If you're interested, you have a father who created everything. It's like a playground. It really is. If we can unshackle our mind from the doom and the gloom expectation of the tribulation and the red heifers and the beheadings and the Antichrist, blah, 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 nuclear holocaust, what? If we can get our minds out of that and onto what's real and foundational to who we are, we can then be part of that remnant that will receive an assignment that's so exciting. Don't you want your life to be charged, like recharged with something new? It's so boring. This dark culture is boring. They think that being good is boring. No, I'm here to tell you, no. It's way more fun on the light side. They try to lure you to the dark. Come to the dark side. We have cookies. Oh, no, come to the light side. We got everything. We got healing. We have angelic divine technology that can open portals. We can do things that you guys can not even imagine on the dark side, okay? You could have your cookies. I want all of the kingdom. So our Most High Yah hides things in layers and symbols and prototypes, sacred geometry, timelines, and different patterns and scripture. And I'm excited. I am very excited to share more. That's right, Tina. It's an exciting time to be alive. It truly is. It truly is. And, I want to talk about also divine masculinity, because I've been thinking lately about kinsmen redeemers. And I had this vision that each family on earth, each family has a kinsman redeemer or kinsmen redeemers. But I can imagine that there will be some ambassadors from bloodlines that will come to revisit even and have assignments to mediate conflict in families. Because that's another thing about Hollywood. All the stories that are told have to have conflict. And we think that everything is conflict and tension. And that's the only thing that entertains us. But conflict will be, we will not have conflict in the kingdom. It will not go on. It will be resolved. Can you imagine being brought before anybody in your family that you have beef with, and your kinsman redeemer is going to sit you both down and have a resolution? So any beef that is going on in families is going to be resolved. And everybody is going to know what they've done and take accountability. And it's going to be healing. And so the men are going to rise into a divine masculinity and start taking back their families and their communities and the culture. The culture will be taken back for the kingdom. We are going to start to see kingdom culture emerging. And all of the degeneracy will be shamed and rejected. No more will a Cardi B think that she is a representative to talk to the nation about politics. No more will we hear an idiot like her. No more will we see a Jezebel whore on stage twerking her ass for the first woman president. That won't be okay anymore. We're not okay with whore culture. And we're not okay with people who continue to attack men and emasculate men in our culture. That's not going to be accepted anymore. Because we're tired of looking and seeing our men in skinny jeans and eyeliner and talking about their feelings. We want men back. We want men that are going to confront this culture and say, no, not on my watch. So we are going to see kinsmen redeemers and masculinity that is divine in nature. They have a mandate to take back what has been stolen by the dark kingdom, which is collapsing. So I'm gonna start to sorry, excuse me for the noise in the background. I'm gonna start to wind down. But again, this is a little warm up. I want to talk more about these things and just, run some things by you. Let me see about another thing I wanted to share before. Just bear with me. Thanks for joining if you're still here. Yeah, I'll let you know about some other topics. I want to just continue in with this topic of the kingdom and just how, again, we have to grow up as believers. And, this escapism, getting out of here through the rapture, we have to let that go. Sorry. That's not for a mature church anymore. We have to be about, what are we going to do at this point? If everything has been done, it's all been, we're late in the book of Revelation. And the rapture, the culture of the rapture has frozen the church in permanent adolescence. It trained people to watch and not to build, to fear but not discern, and to wait but not participate. Jesus Christ is coming back, but he's not coming back as a crisis rescue team. He's coming back as king, judge, restorer, and the rightful architect of a renewed creation. And that means that the mindset of the believer must shift from escape to expectancy, from fear to responsibility. Once we correct our timeline, we must read all of Revelation, not just the scary chapters, because Revelation ends in beauty, in healing, in restored Eden, in New Jerusalem descending, in a world with no curse, no death, and the king dwelling among his people. That is not doom, that is not escapism, and that is not fear bait. That is the kingdom age. So you and I are not waiting to run away. We are preparing to welcome the king, baby. Yes, we're preparing to welcome our king. So let's start getting into that, let's get into that frequency. We got a lot of shifting to do to get out of that crazy expectancy of like all that doom and gloom, right? Maybe the next time we meet, I'll read the rest of the chapter. You talk about utopia. Oh, yes, it's beautiful. We have a lot to look forward to. Yes. So, yeah, let's start to shift a bit and get into that expectancy of, no, wait a minute, I got work. I have fun work to do. This is the best work you can ever imagine. To be a part of a restoration team, to work with the architect, Jesus Christ. He's a master carpenter. Can you imagine? I would love to, even though I'm a girl. I'm your daughter, but I'm the daughter that I used to do that stuff with my dad. He had me doing drywall and all kinds. I love that stuff, okay? So are you kidding? If Jesus wanted to restore some stuff, and you have an open credit card line for Home Depot, I'm just saying, it's just imagination at work. Because again, you have to approach this as a child. And a lot of the children that are coming through this world right now, they are really going to be the ones that lead us forward. A lot of us are old farts set in our ways. We will not be part of the teams that are going to be part of this stuff. A lot of us are going to have to sit the heck down somewhere and shut up. But it will be young people. We have had our chance, all right? We will be very honored to be a part of working with the young people. But they are the generation that is going to move us forward. I'm sorry to the people that don't want to realize that. We've had our chance. So we want to make sure they are equipped moving forward. But that's not to say that we as older people are not going to be used, because we are going to be renewed and restored in our own bodies. You know, the rest of Revelation is amazing. There is no Botox that they can imagine it's gonna redo you and have you but it's not on a vanity thing. But to have your body reset to perfection and to resurrection, to transfigure into a different type of body, a light body. Amazing. Amazing. So I want to leave you with one other thing I want you to listen to, a brother from TikTok. Now, I love the young people on TikTok. I learn a lot from them. That is the position of my heart, is that I learn from the young people. I hope it's an equal exchange, that I can teach them and they would consider me a rightful type of teacher, whatever I can do to help. But a lot of them teach me. So we don't have to feel like the young people are lost, all of them, because they're not. God will always have a remnant. He will always. But a lot of the older people like us will also be used and renewed and all the wonderful things. But I want you to listen to this young man who just explained a lot that I just loved. Okay, so check this out.
And as they release this energy, they emit photons of light.
Okay.
The northern lights is the physical evidence of God's throne. Look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful this is. And listen to the Matrix explanation as to why this is happening. The Matrix says the northern lights are caused by a stream of charged particles from the sun called the solar wind that collide with gases in the Earth's atmosphere. These collisions excite the atoms. And as they release this energy, they emit photons of light. Of course, they have a natural explanation for this. It's fake information. The Bible has a different explanation. The Bible indicates why this is there. This is John speaking in Revelation chapter 4, verses 2 through 3. John was one of Jesus' disciples, and he says, "Immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was standing in heaven, and one sitting on the throne. And he who was sitting was like a jasper stone and sardis in appearance. And there was a rainbow around the throne, like an emerald in appearance." Let me show you what an emerald is. These are emerald stones. Okay, so it's like a green stone. Exactly what the Aurora Borealis looks like, the northern lights. So this is jasper and sardis, or sardine. And so Revelation 4, 2 through 3, the one on the throne was of jasper and sardis. So this is the color of the one that was on the throne. So everyone take that for what it is. So we know that the space agencies lied about the shape of the Earth. They told us it was round and we were flying through space. When in actuality, that's all fake. That's all false. There's no space or any of that stuff. Okay. If you didn't know that, the Earth is stationary, just as the Bible says. There's a firmament. And if God's throne is above the Earth, where exactly would it be? Let's check Psalm 48, verse 2. And it says, "Beautiful in elevation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion in the far north, the city of the great King." Right up here in the land of Jesus, essentially. The North Pole, where we speculate where the Garden of Eden is located, where New Jerusalem is or will be. So right up here is where God's throne is, right, directly above this. above the North Pole. And this right here is the radius of the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis. It covers all of that. So the glory of God, the Creator's throne, his divine essence in energy and color, is spread out all over the north. Like, may I tell you what? Hold on, let's look at this. Let's look at this again. The one who pre-existed, all things were made through Christ. Check out the whole book of Hebrews. If you want to know who Christ is, his authority, and his significance, read the book of Hebrews, man. Like, look at this. Revelation 4:2-3 says that around the throne is a rainbow, like an emerald in appearance. This comes from the throne of God. This is direct. This is in the north. It's exactly where the Bible says God's throne is. Like, stop listening to the matrix in the mainstream telling you that this is space wind. Bro, that's cap. That's not space wind. This is the glory of God.
How about that? I love it. So, again, thank you for joining me this impromptu live stream. I will do more of these. I've been meaning to. I've been talking about it. Please forgive me. I'm doing a few things that I'm getting more balance with my time, but I've missed you all. If I missed you, I think I see Sean. Did we talked you up, Sean? Hello, Sean. Welcome. And Paint Dance Live. Hello. She said, wow, this is so excellent. I'm glad you think so. The Throne of God and Emerald Northern Lights. Yes, I love it. I hope that blessed you. And I will see you very soon. Thank you all for joining our beautiful Harlem Sentinel, Karen of the Scots, the bloodline of the Scots. She's from a noble bloodline, the Scots. Says, thank you for joining the chat this evening, and thank you, the host, for sharing your wonderful plate of research. You are so welcome in thoughts. Thank you so much. We love you, Karen. Thank you. Aurora, welcome. Thank you for coming. If I've missed you, please forgive me. Let's forgive me. But I'll catch you again. And please make sure you turn on whatever notifications you need. Hello, the Lizzie. Hello, the Lizzie. Greetings from Arizona. Blessings to you in Arizona. Thank you for joining. The Lizzie. And I hope you come in and join us again. All right. So this has been awesome. Maybe we will have our good brother from Ireland join us next time. I know that, I can't pop up and expect him to join. His time is a different time, right? Time is a beautiful thing. Okay. So I will see you again before I go off onto another tangent. It's been 2 hours. I could talk a lot more, but I'll save it for our next time together. Love you, Chatmosphere, and I thank you for forgiving me for using free StreamYard. I hope it worked out. I hope we didn't have any glitches, but I will work on my OBS instructions. Haven't been sitting down and learning like I should my technology, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, it just takes me a time, but thanks for forgiving me and giving me the grace that I so appreciate. I love you all again. We'll be back soon. Take care. reckoning, seeking balance, reclaiming culture.